Morning. Be the change, and I lift my voice. We also have Ken, Koshiro. I knew I was gonna pronounce it wrong. Ken Koshiro for our special music today, a real treat. He's in the back, looking forward to that. So here we go, thanks.
Try to That was fun. Well, good morning. My name is Lynn Sager. I'm your platform assistant today and song leader. I always kind of wanted to add that to my resume at Unity. I would like to thank everybody who helps put this service together. You know who you are if you're a volunteer, and you know what it takes to put together a Sunday service. We've got ushers, we have hospitality, the music team, PowerPoint, streaming, sound. We have it all. We have script upstairs. So thanks to everybody who puts their time and talent into making service possible. If this is your first time here, we are so glad that you chose this Sunday to come be with us. There is a card in the pew pocket in front of you if you are a visitor for the first time. If you would fill that out, and if at the end of service, you would hand that to an usher. They have a small gift for you. And again, thank you so much for being here. Just a couple of announcements before we get started. Of course, Judy is our guest speaker on the 6th. Will be Judy. We have, there's our special music. Daylight savings time is coming up. And on the 8th is the vote. And then we have our guest speakers listed for the rest of the month. And a couple of other things to point out. Our food drive is continuing, and we have the next 2 Sundays, like this Sunday and next Sunday, or one more? This Sunday, next Sunday? This Sunday, next Sunday. Okay, this today and next, and one more. Remember, no expired foods, no perishables, and don't bring anything in glass. So, and the other is this Wednesday, November 2nd, is the Wednesday dinner at University Roadhouse, 6 p.m. Sign-up sheet is out there. Karen, anything else you want to add on that? But sign up today so that they have numbers. Okay, perfect. If you will join me in our mission statement. As an all-inclusive community, we awaken to spirit, grow into our soul, and build a better world. And our vision statement, we celebrate and our core values. Stewardship, and before we have our special music leading into the meditation, as I said, our speaker today is Reverend Judy Pilot, and so we are so glad she's here again. And an announcement that I wanted to mention is we will have our annual meeting after service today, so make sure that you stick around for that. So thank you very much.
Thanks for rolling with the punches this morning with the music. We want to thank our choir one more time. Thanks. We've got some great choir music in store for the near future, so check them out. They're doing a great job, and they're so much fun to work with every week. Thanks again. Next one is Come Into the Quiet. I introduced this one a couple weeks back. If you're still not sure of it, that's fine. Take a listen, but I'd love to have you all try to join in with me. Thanks. Come Into the Quiet. Come into the quiet, come in from the storm, come into the time where the Spirit is reborn. Come into the quiet, let her place among the stars. Come into this place, come as you are. You don't need direction. circle back around your heart and you'll find peace of mind. Trust that place inside that's calling you home. Come into the quiet, wrap your silence, say all the things you'd like to hear each and every day. Come into the quiet, you can listen to the stars. Come into this place, come into this place, come into this place, come as you are. Come into this place, come as you are.
We've got a whole lot of energy to bring into the quiet. But we don't have to leave that energy at the door. We just simply need to begin to shift our thoughts inward a little bit and remember who we are and whose we are. So let's begin a time of prayer and meditation with the daily word. The word for today is protection. Once in a while, I enjoy doing things that frighten me. Sharing ghost stories around a campfire, watching a spooky movie, even savoring the uneasy feeling just before thundering down the first hill of a roller coaster. Hands-free. All of these things can feel scary, even though I know I'm in no real danger. If I begin to feel unsafe in any situation, I remember that right where I am, God is. Breathing out, I release tension. My body relaxes. Fearful thoughts begin to dissolve. Breathing in, I think more clearly. Slowly, I regain renewed strength and peace of mind. My confidence returns as I remember that nothing in the world can prevail against the strength, the wisdom, and the love of God. And from Psalm 23, verse 4, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And so the affirmation for today is, God is here, I am safe. And I'll say that once more and then invite you to join me the third time through. God is here, I am safe. Together. God is here, I am safe. And so just breathe into that thought, that feeling of safety, that feeling of comfort, that feeling of connection, knowing that no matter what circumstances or appearances surround us, we are safe. The divine spirit in me is more powerful than anything in the world. And that divine spirit, that divine energy, that wisdom, that love and power that I can connect to in any moment by simply turning my thoughts within is greater than anything in the world that challenges me, that frightens me, that brings me a worry or a concern. And so we know that we can simply pause, breathe in, turn within, connect with that divine spirit, and affirm that all is well. I am safe. And so we breathe in that love, that comfort, that safety. And we breathe out any sense of fear or separation. We are always eternally connected to our good, to that divine spirit, and to that energy. And it is simply ours for the conscious awareness of its presence. So let's take a few moments now in the silence to become consciously aware of that presence, that divine energy, light, and love. And let's just rest quietly and thoughtfully in the safety of its arms. And so I ask you now to gently return your thoughts and your awareness to this time, this room, this space. And as we close this time of prayer and meditation, remember that nothing in the world is greater than the divine energy within me. I am one with the one. And that's what matters. Amen. And so it is. And so we let it be.
right. Well, we are very excited this morning to welcome back who's becoming a old friend around here at Unity of Kalamazoo, Ken Koshio Sensei. He's been in town to do a residency at Kalamazoo College with our Taiko's community there. We had a beautiful program together yesterday. Some of you were there. Thank you so much for attending and supporting that. A campus open and festival of Taiko music and Japanese culture. So we also have a couple workshops with Ken today. So if you enjoy his music and you've caught the spirit of Taiko that Esther Vandekar and Ken and I have been bringing forth in this community, just chat with us afterwards. We'd welcome you to some classes with us this afternoon. This morning, Ken will share from his vast musical background and repertoire. He's evolved to be one of, I would say one of the internationally recognized Odaiko artists and Taiko players of his generation. But before that, he kind of came to the U.S. to be a peace activist, Bob Dylan type folk singer guy. So this is a very complex and multifaceted human being with a wealth of beautiful musical resources to share with us. He's done some amazing collaborations in his home state out in Arizona and Phoenix in the Grand Canyon, concerts with the Hopi and the local indigenous musicians there as well. So he'll be sharing from the Native American drone flutes, the Japanese shinobue, the traditional flutes of Japan, and many other beautiful surprises for you this morning. So always please welcome back Ken Kosho. Maybe Sanshi. Sure.
親のよし事やチムにすみり金のぼり帽子や弓ばゆまいしが親のよし事や弓やならん天さぐぬ花やちみざちに染めて親のよし事やちむにすみり
That's good.
I'm gonna come back to play one more time with them, but just want to say one thing about my opportunity to be here in Kalamazoo. I was born and raised in Japan, and the last instrument is coming from Okinawa. So if you are in the service, Okinawa, this is a kind of instrument coming from that island. And Japan mainland and the southern island of Okinawa is a little different culture. So like Hawaii and Alaska and maybe Kalamazoo, you know? So same country, but it's different. So, and my music is exactly coming from South, you know, deep South, blues, rock and roll, and also a lot of great American country music too. But I met the lady, Esther Vandikar, when I was in Phoenix, Arizona. So she brought back the spirit of Japanese taiko drumming to the United States of America from Japan. So I was always I wanted to be an American when I was a kid. So always looking up to, you know, James Dean, you know, such movies, everything, Elvis Presley. But she was kind of backwards. She came to Japan, she learned something, and really brought some bright Japanese culture back to this country. So now I'm proud to be a Japanese. So like, you know, you said, the preacher said, so this is exactly place to be quiet, get into your soul, to be back to who you are with that higher spirit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. Interesting. I think this is the first opportunity that I have had to experience your music. I think you started coming after I was gone to ministerial school. So what a treat, and so nice to meet you. Good morning. So, the title of my talk today is The Gospel According to Jimmy and Wayne. You don't have to worry, there's never going to be a Beavis and Butthead, I promise you. There won't be. So, as our choir was singing this morning, right? Change is everywhere present. We don't need to look any further than the beauty of all of the fall colors that surround us here this morning to see evidence of summer's surrender to autumn and to the leaves on the ground. as evidence of winter's impending arrival. Change has a scientific context. It has a cultural context, a physiological and psychological context, and a spiritual context, just to name a few. Now, for our community, this year has been filled with change and opportunities to examine our needs, our challenges, our intentions, and our hopes for the future. Now, if the truth be told, most of us have a love-hate relationship with change. And what I mean by that is that we love change when it's our idea. And we hate it when it is not. Our reactions can be especially visceral when it's not our idea. And change comes at us out of the blue. The ones we don't see coming are usually the ones that are the most difficult to deal with, the ones we often resist the most, or worse yet, deny altogether. But change is inevitable, and change is constant, and a good deal of our happiness depends on how we handle change as it comes through us and to us. Resisting what is inevitable and beyond our control is usually a fool's errand, and it leads to backtracking and apologizing, followed by another burst of energy to get on board with the train that has already left the station while we've been ranting and raving, right? So in the Gospel according to Jimmy, he characterizes resistance as running and cunning, behaviors that are emotionally exhausting, and the kind of acting out and denial that will get others to question your sanity. In other words, if you keep this up, you're going to make yourself crazy. Lord knows you're already driving me nuts, right? Brent, you get what I'm talking about when I talk about changes and resistance and how we need to laugh about how sideways we get sometimes. Do you know any songs about that? Changes.
Nothing remains quite the same.
We'll let him go.
All of our running and all of our cunning, if we could laugh, we'd all go insane.
Can you do that one more time? And I'm going to invite you all to join in, because I think you know what we're talking about, right?
In those changes in latitudes, changes in attitude, nothing remains quite the same. With all of our cunning and all of our cunning, if we couldn't laugh, we'd all go insane.
Yeah, if we couldn't laugh, we would all go insane. So, in addition to the way we look at change in culture and music, thank you, our brains and our bodies have some very specific reactions to change. Our reptilian brain is always looking for signs of trouble at the border and calculating an appropriate response to changing conditions. It's part of the survival instinct buried deep in our DNA, and it explains how all of our ancestors survived long enough for us to be here today. Sometimes it says, put them up. And sometimes it says, feet don't fail me now, right? Okay, so this fight or flight assessment is a loop that runs most of the time and mostly in the background, but every now and then it demands our full attention and it shifts us into crisis mode. Our higher order brain, the neocortex, tends to take the longer view of things. After the crisis has passed and our brain and our body have returned to a normal mode of operation, then the higher order brain wants to know, how is this change going to affect us? Are we better off because of it, or are we going to suffer a setback? After all of our running and all of our cunning, should we laugh or should we cry? Now, not surprisingly, there are some spiritual ideas about change. The gospel, according to Wayne, teaches that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, right? We talk about that all the time. In this context, it's all about the perspective and how a shift in our way of thinking and our way of looking at something can give us some fresh ideas to consider. So there's one other message from the gospel that I would like to share with you this morning, and it happens to be from Paul's letter to the Philippians. And I usually don't lean into Paul's teachings at all, because in my mind he was more focused on the organizational issues and the politics of the early church. And so that's why I tend not to pay much attention to that gospel. Sorry, just a bias of mine. But having said that, the message in his letter to the Philippians was really good advice to that community at that time. And I think it's really good advice for our community, considering where we are on our journey. Now, this is one of those writings from Paul that's referred to as a prison letter. He probably wrote this one from Rome, where he was actually under house arrest, although he had been in prison prior to that. Paul had gone to Jerusalem to deliver some money that he had been raising as he traveled around the Mediterranean, establishing faith communities. And while he was in Jerusalem, the Apostle James warned him that there was some concern on the part of the Jewish authorities regarding Paul's philosophy and teachings that Jews and Gentiles were equal to each other. James told Paul that he really needed to watch his back while he was within their grasp during his time in Jerusalem. When the authorities confronted him and arrested him, Paul cleverly dodged a bullet by exercising his rights as a Roman citizen to be taken into Roman custody, and that is how he came to be under house arrest. And that probably turned out to be a pretty good thing for him, actually, because he could preach and he could teach to anyone who came to visit him, and he didn't have to worry about being arrested, chased out of town, tortured, or imprisoned. And so this letter is written to some of his earliest and most consistent followers who lived in an area of what is now northern Greece, and back during Paul's time, it was known as Macedonia. So in this letter to the Philippians, he encourages them to stand firm. Help those who have helped him, and rejoice in the Lord. He tells them to keep doing what they have been doing, and the peace of the Lord will be with them. The peace that surpasses all understanding. And the passage that I wanted to share with you specifically this morning is from chapter 4, verses 12 and 13. And Paul says, I know what it is to have little, and I know what it is to have plenty. In any and all circumstances, I have learned the secret of being well-fed and of going hungry, of having plenty and being in need. But I can do all things through him who strengthens me. He goes on to tell the Philippians that the one who began a good work among you will bring it to fruition. Do not murmur, do not argue, rejoice, because God is at work in you. God is enabling you. Paul doesn't say it, but I think in all of his efforts to assure his supporters in this community, he suggests, kind of read between the lines, that suffering is a choice, and it's a choice that we make at our own peril. So, like it or not, agree with it or resist it, change is evidence of life. It's change of evidence, life happening, life unfolding, and it's the essential characteristic of everything in our universe. Everything changes. In Buddhism, this essential characteristic is called impermanence. So, inspiration and guidance are available to us from many sources. The Gospel of Jimmy, Gospel according to Wayne, Gospel according to Paul, teachings of the Buddha. The message is universal. Change is inevitable. Resistance can make you crazy. And when we find ourselves resisting and pushing back, we need to take a pause and laugh and celebrate our humanity. What we need to remember and affirm is that the one who began a good work in us will be faithful to complete it. You guys remember that? We used to sing that song, right? Yeah. Stand firm. Help those who have helped you. Keep doing what you have been doing. Do not murmur or argue. Spirit is at work in you and through all of you. And the one who began a good work in us, in you, in this community, will be faithful to complete it. God bless you. Have an amazing week.
Thank you, Reverend Judy. Speaking of faithful, Tracy, would you please come forward? Of course, you would have had to do this just yesterday. Tracy, you have been so helpful to me this past year, and so helpful to so many others throughout all the years that you've been here. I tried to give you 30 years last weekend, but I was corrected by those that know better, those that hired you, that were here way before my time. And I was going to say we sometimes grumble, but I need to say own it. I sometimes grumble when you ask for things for me, but I know in my heart that you're asking for all the right reasons, and I just need to say, yes, I will do it. You keep the T's crossed, the I's dotted, and we love and appreciate you.
I didn't think I could make it.
And there's more, as she just said, and I didn't even have to make it. No, I can do some things myself. This is a certificate to you in recognition of your 25 years of service.
Thank you.
Your first 25 years.
Yes.
May there be 25 more.
25.
Thank you. One more thing. This is a gift card for your favorite script for $50.
Ooh,
This you will have to do yourself.
okay.
And also, we have a lovely rose for you.
Thank you.
You get the whole thing.
I want them all.
I was just trying to see what her reaction would be if I only gave her one of these.
No.
Over here. Shall we hold these? Okay, and lastly, we have one more thing I would like to ask. If we could all give Tracy the unity blessing. Choir, help us out here. She doesn't know it, or maybe she does, because she knows everything. There is cake upstairs after service, so please join in that before our annual meeting. There's a card up there, too. If you haven't already signed it last week, please make sure you signed it today. Thank you.
Can I have Judy sing now?
Judy, no.
Tracy did it. No.
She'll do that upstairs. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I've got one more thing that I'd like us to do since our voices are all warmed up. We have a special guest in the house that we haven't seen in a while. I don't know if you all noticed, but we have Fontaine with us today. And I was wondering if you all would help me in giving Fontaine our unity blessing, since we don't get to see her very often. We love you. We bless you. We truly, truly appreciate you. We hold the cross as you.
Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Deb Imbrock. I'm a member of your board, and if you would please join me in our board affirmation. Centered in divine life, I flourish in every way. I am one with and now realize divine abundance. And if you would please join me in the offertory blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you.
thank you very much again. I'm so glad to be here in this time. So I'm a Japanese Bob Dylan, okay? So this song, actually I didn't know since before I met Esther Brandigar. So if you don't know her, she lives still in Kalamazoo, but used to live in Phoenix, Arizona. And she's one of the really inspirations of me. And she gave me, and then my son, he's 19 now. But we sang this song a lot when my son was little. So I just want to share with you. If you know this song, please sing with me. With us.
Pink and green, purple and orange and blue. I can sing the rainbow, sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. I can sing the rainbow, sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too. Infinity, washing through the rhythm and the beat. From the beginning of time and on my mind. Now we're together, spinning in time on my mind. We are forever. Got humanity, finito e ada. Sticking up into your beauty, the clouds that stay outside. I am infinity, washing through the rhythm of your energy. Beginning of time on my mind. Now we're together, spinning in time on my mind. We are forever. いつまでかかるの僕の夢が。レトレトレト言ってしまいそうです。Passion
nothing's right. It's up to you. You feel like what you are, who you are. Everything's gonna be alright. Yeah. You can fly anytime when you believe you have the wing higher and higher. You are the one, so only one. I am infinity, washing through the rhythms of your energy. From the beginning of time, all in my mind is now together, spinning the time with all my pride. We are forever. Da 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 da. Yeah, yeah. I am infinity, washing through the rhythms of your energy. From the beginning of time, with all my mind is now together, spinning the times, all my pride is we are forever. Thank you very much. So my this is my original tune. It's called I Am. If you like it, I brought my CD. Please come back home with you. Thank you very much. Happy Halloween season. Thank you.
We have been blessed. There are no other words. So as our ushers come forward, let us pray. Loving Spirit, thank you for all the blessings of today and every day. We give thanks for the gifts that have been given today and those that have been sent during the week. Please receive these offerings in loving gratitude so that they may go forth and circulate throughout our world, bringing prosperity to all. And amen. And now, as we bring our service to a close, if you will join me in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and in all is well. And now for the peace song as we close. If you're comfortable, you may hold hands with your neighbor. If not, totally fine. Put your hands over your heart, connect within.
So
春の日ひとりぼっちの夜上を向いて歩こう滲んだ星を数えて思い出す夏の日ひとりぼっちの夜幸せは空の上に幸せは雲の上に上を向いて歩こう涙がこぼれないように泣きながら歩くひとりぼっちの夜思い出す秋の日ひとりぼっちの夜悲しみは月の影に悲しみは星の影に上を向いて歩こう涙がこぼれないように泣きながら歩くひとりぼっちの夜ひとりぼっちの夜ひとりぼっちの夜 Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to Kalamazoo Kenkoshio. Thank you. Welcome. Have a good one. Thank you very much again.